First off, starting off with Martin. Can you hear me, Martin?
I can indeed, yeah. Hi.
Hello, how's it going today?
All good, all good.
Did you have any snacks? Any breakfast?
Oh, yeah, there was pig salad, basically.
What does that
Some
mean?
bacon sausages.
Delicious, very healthy.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So, Martin, you're going to be talking to us about using audio in online content. And I
Yes,
think you've sent in a video for us. Is that right? Yeah.
I have, yes.
Perfect. And then I think Martin will be available for questions after the video too. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or use the Q&A function. And just as a reminder, there are captions available. I think this video has its own captions, so our captioner might be able to take a little break. But otherwise, the captions are available with the CC button on the bottom of the Zoom screen. And you're welcome to ask questions either via the chat or the Q&A function, or you can raise your hand and we can call on you to ask the question. So a few different ways of asking questions there. I think we're ready. Whenever you're ready, Martin, I think we might start the video.
Yep, absolutely.
Hello. Firstly, I would like to thank all at AHEAD for this opportunity to share this idea with you. My name is Martin Russell, and I am an automation instructor with DDLETB, based here in the Tala Training Centre. I have been working in the sphere of online learning since 2004, and I have seen huge improvements and innovations in this area, particularly in the last 10 years. Some years ago, through AHEAD, I attained my UDL badge, and I have to say that the whole experience really opened my eyes to the idea of making learning more accessible. One of the ideas I had was around using audio as part of the online learning environment. This in part came from the basic premise that there are 4 learning styles out there: visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic, and the fact that some learners like to listen to what they are learning. Aside from that, I also believe that there is value in this idea for learners with specific learning difficulties, particularly dyslexia. Learners with eyesight issues might also appreciate this option. What I hope to do here is give you a brief insight into how I implement this idea in my course with the tools that I use. I primarily present my course materials through Moodle, as I find that it is accessible whether the learners are here with me in the centre or they are studying remotely. I have started using the book resource in Moodle as my go-to method of presenting text and images. My main reason for using this method is that I can present the course materials in bite-sized chunks, which, in my opinion, is less overwhelming than being presented with a large block of text on screen. In addition to this, you are not limited to just text and images. It is possible to include videos and audio recordings as part of the resource. So, if I take a page of content like this, for example, I can, through various means, record myself reading the text. I hear you saying that there are many screen reading and text-to-speech facilities out there that a learner can use, and this is true. That said, I have a number of reasons that I prefer to take the time to make the recordings myself. Firstly, as good as much of the aforementioned software is, it can sound very monotone and lack in certain inflections and emphasis. If you take the trouble to record your course materials, you can judge where it is important to emphasize certain sections and guide your learners' attention towards those sections. Secondly, I feel that I maintain more of a connection with the learners by making these recordings myself, and it gives them a form of continuity between what they experience here in the lab and what they are studying remotely. Hopefully, I have at least piqued your interest enough to see how to go about making and publishing these recordings. Moodle makes the process relatively painless and uncomplicated. Let's begin by looking at a portion of content that I'm in the process of editing. You can see that we have some text and an image. The next thing I want to do is record myself reading the text. Before I go into the mechanics of recording, I would like to point out that a good quality USB microphone will be very helpful. The clarity of the recordings is important, and something like the mic on screen at the moment delivers very good quality audio. Surprisingly, these are not very expensive. The first option we have is to use the record feature in Moodle. If you look at the toolbar above, you will see a button with a microphone icon. If we click on this, the box below opens up for us, and all we have to do is click Start Recording and read the text. This method will allow you to record up to 4 minutes of speech, which for me is normally quite sufficient, staying with my idea of bite-sized chunks. When you are done, just press Stop Recording. As soon as you do that, these options appear for you. If you are happy with your recording, you can press Attach Recording, and an audio player will be inserted wherever you have placed your cursor. And just like that, your player is in place. You can now go ahead and save your changes. Personally, I like to use a separate piece of software to record the audio and then import the finished audio file into Moodle. There is a free-to-download package called Audacity, which is relatively simple to use. Using this method has some advantages over recording directly into Moodle, the main one being the ability to edit the audio file before you publish it. Having the ability to edit means that you can cut out any mistakes or coughs or any other unwanted sounds from your audio file. This can save you having to record multiple takes because of a sneeze or interruption in the middle of your recording. There is also a facility to filter out any background noise from your recording. I normally stay silent for the first 5 seconds or so of each recording, then I can sample that section and use it to filter out most background noises. There are, of course, other packages you can use for this purpose, like Adobe Audition or Reaper. Also, there is a wealth of instructional videos on using these packages available on the internet. Importing your audio file is slightly different to recording it directly into Moodle. If I can bring your attention to this button, this is our go-to for importing audio or video files. Clicking on this will open a dialog box, allowing you to navigate to your audio file on your computer. In this box, we can see a button marked Browse Repositories. Clicking on this is our next step. Following that, we click on the Choose File option, which will open an Explorer window that you can use to navigate to the required file. Clicking on your chosen file and then Open will bring you here. There are options here for fine-tuning how your audio file appears and behaves. The good news is that you don't have to make any adjustments here. Clicking on Insert Media will insert the audio player in your content at the cursor position. Now, most importantly, save your work. I hope that this presentation will give you some food for thought and that some of you will go ahead and give it a try. In keeping with the ethos of UDL, this is a +1 that we can use to make our materials more accessible. Thank you for your kind attention and enjoy the remainder of Gather.
Cool. So cool, Martin.
Thank
Very,
you.
very practical tips and tricks, and I think very applicable to a lot of our audience here today.
Hopefully, yeah. I suppose one thing talking about it, but then some people might think that, oh, can I do this? So I just wanted to just demonstrate that it's very doable. It's you don't have to be a tech head, you don't have to be a sound engineer or anything like that. You can just get in there and get it done relatively simply without any major expense either.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And I think it's very helpful that you showed us how it works, what buttons to push, when to start talking, those kinds of things. So very helpful. Lots of good comments coming into the chat as well. People are saying it's very useful. Very great job, Martin, etc. Just wondering if anyone has any questions before we move on to the next speaker. Feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat or Q&A function. Any questions for Martin? Here's a question. Does it add much time to creating resources?
Not particularly. Say recording 2 minutes of video or audio, should I say, I normally get it wrapped up in maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge amount of time compared to, say, preparing images or things like that. You could spend an hour preparing one image. So
Yeah.
it's relatively quick.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. And you're right about, yeah, other resources could take longer. So who knows?
Absolutely,
Yeah, it
yeah.
could be saving time, essentially.
A video could take hours, even days,
Yeah.
when you look at it that way.
Yeah, and a couple more questions coming in. Someone is wondering, do you have any recommendations for captions or transcripts for the audio afterwards?
For my particular idea, captions are not really necessary because the text is going to be there on the person's screen and I'm just reading the text to them.
Mm.
So if you like, the caption is there first and then you hear the audio.
Yeah, so you have the kind of transcribed version already available.
Exactly. If I do videos, I also publish the transcript of the video. I do that mainly to allow people to, if English isn't their first language, that they can copy and paste the transcript into a translator.
Yeah.
And get the transcript in their own language, and at least gives them a better chance of following whatever nonsense I happen to be on about in the video at a given time.
Yeah, and some people might prefer reading, kind of sticking with the UDL principles, multiple means. Some people might prefer reading rather than audio, so they'll have that available
Well,
to them as well.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect. And just another question that I saw a bit earlier, are there any microphones that you recommend?
The little one I showed there is a Samson, as in Samson and Delilah. I think it comes in at 60 or 70 euros or something like that. I can email Danielle maybe with more details, and if anyone needs a link to that particular piece of hardware, if Danielle is agreeable, she might share it with anyone who wants that.
Absolutely.
And I wonder, Danielle, do you have any other tips or advice about transcripts and using captions or anything you can recommend the audience?
Yeah, I think Martin put it very well. If you're using audio as a multiple means for text, sure, the text is already there.
Yeah.
And there was a question I think I saw here for yourself, Martin. Is there a feature on Audacity that allows you to put subtitles what were on your video? So I guess people are asking how you did the subtitles for your video.
Okay, that wasn't done through Audacity. I would have put the video together using Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
And it automatically does the transcript from the audio. And then obviously you need to go in and there will be certain mistakes that you need to correct and so on. Especially as it goes, what the hell is he on about, which it regularly does to me. But yeah. So that was done through Adobe Premiere Pro as opposed to Audacity. Audacity is purely around the audio. And like a lot of people use it for music production, you can have up to 16, 18 tracks running simultaneous. So for mixing music, so any budding musos out there might want to use it as well because it's cheap and cheerful. You can't get better than free, really.
Yep.
Very true. Yeah. And there's some
So
people
true.
suggesting different ways to add captions to videos in the chat
Yeah.
there. I personally
There's
use
numerous ways.
a thing called Descript. If anyone uses that, I use that one. That's my own one. But there you go. I'll hand it back to you, Erica.
Yeah, there's another question in there. Just wondering, in your experience, are shorter videos more beneficial than longer videos? I think this person and probably a lot of people are struggling with learner engagement as a kind of ongoing challenge. So what have you found, Martin?
Absolutely. I like to limit videos. Ideally, nothing more than 15 minutes if I can help it.
Yeah.
It really it depends on the subject matter, I suppose. But if I find I've something that's going too long, I'll make 2 separate videos and go with part 1 and part 2, and may separate them out that way, so that if you can get somebody through the first part and they take it in, then they can go away, come back and have a go at the second part. And attention span is obviously one of the huge things that a lot of people delivering training are having to deal with at the moment, particularly with ADHD and so on. It's can be particularly challenging for people with that to stay on point for prolonged periods of time.
Yeah. Oh, is there a way to speed up when you're listening back to the audio? I know I do that personally with most things. So just
it's something I need to look into, actually. It was something that has been said to me before. I don't know if there's something within Moodle, but certainly it would be something I'd like to check out. Because I do tend to speak a little bit slowly
and clearly. It's a good thing most of the time.
But from the point, again, back to people whose English isn't their first language, sometimes if we rattle on, we're down in the heart of Kerry. Beautiful place, by the way. People do tend to speak rather quickly, and I would even struggle to understand. So that's why I find it's something I was advised to do many years ago as a young aspiring DJ, to speak slowly so that people actually know what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
happy birthday, Erica, is around 21, and nobody gets it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I miss my happy birthday message.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Scott is saying here the default player on Moodle has speed controls. So that's good to know for students.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. And just one final question I think we have from Solomon. Just considering different options of recording is great and availability of resources, but do you have any tips on organization and naming of the sound files?
I tend to keep it pretty simple, pretty much based on what I'm talking about. That's something you have to do for yourself. What relates to you? What triggers that? Oh, that's about that. And I think we all have our own
organizing
way of doing that, really. So I wouldn't like to try to recommend any one way above another. It's just I do what works for me.
Yeah.
I think you find your way pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's like with file naming in general, whether documents or whatever.
I think that's a general theme for the few days is finding what works for you or what works for your students, and it can be different for everyone. So
of course,
definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Martin. It was great to have you here today, and thanks for your wonderful video. Thanks for talking slowly and clearly as well to help guide us through.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. Have a great day.
Martin.
Yeah.